Weeks of speculation finally brought to an end. The Irish are heading to the polls for a pre-Christmas election.
I will now travel to Áras an Uachtaráin to advise President Higgins, pursuant to Section 2 of Article 13 of our Constitution, to dissolve Dáil Éireann to allow a general election to be held on Friday, the 29th of November.
Simon Harris calls this election with the coalition government parties riding high in opinion polls and the main opposition party Sinn Féin battered by internal scandals and low polling numbers. Its leader, though, defiant in calling for change.
People have a choice. People can vote to change the government by voting for Sinn Féin and then opening up the possibility and chance to put things right.
By most metrics, Ireland is booming, but it suffers from a chronic and persistent lack of housing. Many young Irish find it impossible to gain entry to the market.
Password.
At a speakeasy in Dublin, we met one member of a generation which feels locked out of home ownership and will be voting accordingly.
I have resigned myself to the fact that I will never be on the property ladder in this country. The fact that both myself and the majority of my staff have no security in where we sleep, and the fact that the small businesses are being run into the ground, they're your two. That's it, so far as I'm concerned. Everything else can go to pot.
It's been a year since the Dublin riot, and since then there have been vocal and at times violent anti-immigration protests amid a surge in asylum seekers. Immigration could feature prominently for the first time in an Irish general election. Despite all these issues, the government heads into this election in buoyant, if not bullish mood. It can point to a chunky budget surplus, full employment and a booming economy.
I think this is going to be one of the most exciting and one of the most closely fought elections in recent years, in many years within Ireland.
Nick Miller was Leo Varadkar's press secretary for 7 years.
I think the government parties have a good chance of being returned in some form, perhaps with or without the Green Party, perhaps with independents or another smaller party or some other such combination. But they're certainly going to have a fight on their hands.
Things can change rapidly during a campaign. Where the undecided voters go could be key. But at the moment, the government is confident. It feels like it's theirs to lose. Stephen Murphy, Sky News in Dublin.